Welcome, everyone. I'm Mike Revollo, and of course, joined by none other than the Rapids legend, Drew Moor. Drew, we are here to talk Rapids 2 after they just earned their first ever playoff win in MLS Next Pro, beating San Jose Earthquakes 2 1-0, where San Jose Earthquakes 2 went down to 10 men in the second minute after a red card that was given out, and they hunkered down. They held it down for a long time until the 84th minute when Darren Yappy, the homegrown, was able to break the deadlock, score the goal that made it 1-0, which ultimately gave Rapids 2 the win to close out the night. Drew, what did you make of the performance for Rapids 2 against San Jose Earthquakes 2?
They just continue to find a way. Rapids 2 they've battled adversity all season, and to play a man up for 88 minutes is a lot more difficult than I think people realize. And that's not to take away from the performance from Earthquakes 2, being down a man for that long. But the way they had to change tactics all of a sudden and sit in and just absorb pressure, a lot of times that leads to some anxiety from the team that's a man up, doing a bunch of things that you didn't prepare for and you're not used to doing, right? And I thought Rapids 2 did such a professional job in remaining calm, sticking to the game plan. There were moments where they had to defend well in transition. Earthquakes 2 had a couple good chances. I thought Abe Rodriguez made the saves that he needed to make. But Rapids 2 were patient. They stayed true to themselves, and eventually just wore down Earthquakes 2 enough. And when they found the opportunity from Yosuke Hanya to Darren Yappy was extremely opportunistic with his chance, put it away, and really in the playoffs, it's about advancing. It doesn't really matter what it looks like. It was still, for me, an impressive performance from R2, but they did what they had to do. And a lot of people say a true test of character is how you play when you're a man down, especially for that long. I think it's just as much of a statement or a test of character when you're up a man for that long and can remain calm and can continue to do what you do and get the victory. And Rapids 2 are moving on. Rapids 2 managed to earn that win in the Western Conference semifinal to move on to the conference final, where they will take on Austin FC 2. Drew, this is a dangerous opponent in Austin FC 2, where they, in both of their games in the playoffs so far, have upset both SKC 2, winning 2-0 over there, going on the road again to Tacoma Defiance, winning 1-0 there. There seems to be a pattern here where they like to go on the road and kind of be the upset play, kind of upset the other team, and be able to move on and put themselves in such a good position, albeit at altitude here at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. Yeah, Austin 2 is a good team, and there's a reason that they're in the Western Conference Finals, because they do well at home, but they do really well on the road, and they've shown that in the playoffs with 2 road victories. And so Rapids, they know each other well. They played each other 3 times in the regular season. Rapids 2 getting the best of all of those games. And sometimes it's hard to beat the same team consecutive times in the same season. There's something there that you beat them 3 times in a row. Now you play them in a playoff match. How will Rapids 2 respond? Will they remain confident? Will they show early in the match that, hey, we dominated you in the regular season, even though all 3 games were good, close matches? And I think both Rapids 2 and Austin FC 2, they match up well against each other. They're very similar. They're very organized. They're very disciplined. And both sides have good players, right? And I think Austin is led by Valentin Noel, who isn't necessarily going to score a bunch of goals over the course of the season, but he's just kind of their playmaker. He plays out wide on the left, but he can come inside, create a lot of things. They've got some good players there. And so Rapids 2, really, their game plan needs to go in and just to continue to be who you are. Stay organized, stay patient, be opportunistic when you get your opportunities, and play for however long it takes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, into penalties, whatever it is. But you have to start the game well again. And I think even though Earthquakes 2, they played a man up for so long, they started the game on the front foot, and that went a long way in getting the result in the Western Conference semifinals. You have to bring the same intensity from the start of the Austin FC 2 match as well. Yeah, I mean, again, as you elaborated so well there, that Austin FC 2 is just super dangerous side. Again, on the road, every game they've been on the road for the playoffs hasn't been a problem for them. They've made it to the Western Conference final.
where they will come here to Dick's Sporting Goods Park against Rapids 2. The match will take place here, like I mentioned, at Dick's Sporting Goods Park on Sunday, October 15th. Kickoff is set for 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. You can even catch that match on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV, or come here to Dick's Sporting Goods Park to cheer on Rapids 2.